Hello ladies and gentlemen, just a quick video. Now this isn't really a teaching you anything video. We've noticed that there have been several posts, as we see in loads and loads of the bag making groups, saying I've got a machine but it's not really managing it, what machine should I buy? And as always happens, everybody pops their comments on and says, you know, I've got a such and such and it's fabulous, I've got a so and so and it's fabulous. And I always put the same post as I always put on all of these things, in so much as you have to make considerations based on what you want to sew, the other things other than bags that you want to sew, because I'm very aware that we don't all just sew bags. Some people quilt, some people dressmaking, some people like to have fancy stitches, some people want a straight stitch only machine. And buying based on other people's recommendations is a nightmare. As I've said in the post that I've commented on, I've done that. I was looking for a bag making machine. I took advice from Facebook and I purchased myself a Sailrite machine. And I had nothing but trouble. It was just awful. I had a terrible time. I based it on other people's opinions rather than me going and trying it. I just trusted what I had heard, and it was a mistake, a huge mistake, and it was an expensive mistake. So my best advice has always been to go to your local sewing machine dealer, to explain to him what it is that you sew. So, you know, tell him if you want to do quilting, free motion quilting, if you want to have what stitches you want, what you need from a machine. Take some samples of fabrics, take some samples of foam, take some samples of faux leather, and sew on some of the machines he has. Now, we all, in every one of these posts, I see people saying, you know, Genome's the best, Juki's the best, Husqvarna's the best. Everybody thinks that their own machine is the best. And it's really difficult because there are lots and lots of machines out there. Likewise, people say, you know, you must have an industrial, you can't do this, and then you hear the term semi-industrial used. There's so many different names and varieties out there, that basically what we wanted to do was just, the advice to be given is to go to your local sewing machine centre, to take some of your fabrics and the things that you were likely to be sewing to that sewing machine centre and try a machine. You wouldn't buy a car without test driving it. Don't buy a sewing machine without the opportunity to do the same, if you possibly can. And I know for some people, they live miles away from anywhere that they can try a sewing machine. So you do have to base it on other things, but if you possibly can, going and trying something out is always the best way. Now, I'm going to post in the comments a link to a really interesting article about the difference between a domestic and an industrial machine. Often hear people saying, I've got a semi-industrial machine. In fact, the machine that I use has been marketed as a semi-industrial machine. Whether there's actually such a thing as a semi-industrial machine, I don't know. Certainly, I don't believe there is. There's either domestic or there's industrial. There are better quality domestics. My machine is perhaps better than, the £40 one that you might buy at Dunelm Mill, that just does a chain stitch, that's really designed for children almost. Huge difference in quality, but both domestic machines. So I'm going to post the link to the information about between domestic and industrial machines in the comments, because I think it's a very interesting and informative article. So, and it's well worth reading. So if you're on the fence about whether you want to go down the domestic route or the industrial route, there are considerations that you might want to think about. And I'm also going to say that in the comments on after this video, pop, if you have a machine that you think is excellent for bag making, please do pop the make and model of your machine below. But what we want to try and avoid is lots and lots of posts saying, I need a new machine, give me a recommendation, and you get hundreds of comments, and people are overwhelmed with information, and it's all other people's opinion, not necessarily what's right for that person. So what we want to do is give people an idea of what machines work for some others, and that can be done underneath this post. But the best advice that we can give is for you to go and try out as many machines as you possibly can, if that's conceivably possible. If we see posts that say, you know, I need a new machine, rather than having 200 comments offering lots of different opinions, we will refer you to this video and the list that will be in the comments below it. At least I hope so, assuming anybody actually comments, to get, you know, ideas of what other people are using and what they enjoy, because whilst this is a bag sewing group, it's not a sewing machine group, and none of us are actually experts on sewing machines. We're just experts on the one that we use. So I think it's better that rather than having lots and lots of people piling in, that we offer this video and the information that will be in the comments below by way of an explanation for those that are looking for sewing machines.